Yo, yo. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Knuckles MMA, and I'm back with another video. Look at you, looking well fed, looking well rested. Been getting strong, haven't you? It's been 2 months, almost 2 months. Yeah, a month and a half. You know, a little bit more than a month and a half. First off, I apologize, but I've just been busy. You got work, been working a ton. And I've just been getting better with my faith, and I've been going to church a little bit more. I've been being a little bit more consistent. And that's that, man. It's just life. But but I just want to reintroduce myself, right? You know whose channel you're on? This is the Knuckles MMA channel, buddy. This is where you get the best content for the UFC. And what are we gonna talk about today? What do you think? I'm joking. UFC 319 predictions. And you guys are going to listen to me speak. You better stay for the whole video too. But for those who do not know, for those who are new, and for those who might have forgot, we're going to start sharing this screen, y'all. And like always, start from the bottom of the early prelims, go to the main card, man. Starting off this card, we have Alibi Idris versus Joseph Morales. Now, this fight was it just got put onto the card because of Rodrigo and Donchenko. They were originally supposed to fight, but then the fight got canceled, and now it's this fight. I really don't know too much about these dudes, to be flat out honest with you. Nor do I really care. They're just like unranked flyweights, and they're just two blockheads. I give it to Idris. He probably has like 10 out of 10 grappling or striking or whatever, and he'll win by unanimous decision. Whatever, no one cares. Bye. On to this fight right here. Kareem Silva versus Dione Barbosa. This fight is pretty good. It's probably going to be boring. They're both really good grapplers. They like to just wrestle and throw each other around on the ground, and just win by unanimous decision. But I give it to Kareem Silva. I think Kareem Silva is a little bit more sophisticated and a little bit more well-rounded. And I think her striking and her mixing up her striking, kicking, and her takedowns is gonna help her a lot in this fight. And I think that's just gonna ride her to a unanimous decision. On to this fight right here. This is the co-main event of the early prelims. We have Mr. Brian Battle versus Nursultan Ruzaboyev. Unfortunately, I know I'm gonna be at work around the time that these early prelims start. And man, this is an interesting fight. I'm gonna tell you something. And I know exactly how this fight's gonna go. Actually, let me tell you a little bit of a backstory. Well, not a backstory, but like info. Nursultan Ruzaboyev has insane power in his hands. He's six. It says 6'4" on here, but that man is 6'5". He's tall, lengthy. He really should be a center in the NBA. He should not be fighting in the middleweight division in the UFC. He should not be in the UFC. This dude should be in the NBA. I know one of those teams need a center, but Ruzaboyev is known for his power, his pretty good striking, and his cross right down the middle. And his ground game is horrible. And he gasses out in about the second or the third round. And what do we know about Bryan Battle? Decent with his, not even decent, pretty good with his striking. He really good with his grappling. Starts off slow in the first, finishes everything in the second or third round when his opponents are tired. So let's put two and two together. Bryan Battle is not going to win this first round. He's probably going to get rocked or stunned or, woken up by one of these hits by Ruzaboyev. He's going to try and survive. He's going to roll and just try and shoot takedowns and just do what he can. And then Bryan Battle is going to, no, let me reword this. Bryan Battle is going to go into the second or third round and absolutely demolish Ruzaboyev with his wrestling. And I think Bryan Battle is going to have a lot of success if he goes to the body against Ruzaboyev. Because somebody who actually did it really good, Joaquin Buckley did really good, going to the body against Ruzaboyev and, kind of fainting low and then hitting him up top. And I think Bryan Battle is 100% going to be able to do that and just wrestle Ruzaboyev until he's tired, which leads me to believe that either Bryan Battle is going to either A, go to a unanimous decision and beat Ruzaboyev, or he might submit Ruzaboyev. It's like I'm leaning more towards the unanimous decision, but there's a possibility that Bryan Battle decides he wants to, get a submission, and he might submit Ruzaboyev in the third round. All right, now we get on to the main event of the early prelims, and I'm gonna keep it short, sweet, cut dry. Edson Barboza is gonna win this fight. He's gonna show Jakar Close how much of a veteran he is in this game, because Jakar Close is the Kevin Holland of the lightweight division. What happens when Kevin Holland fights elite fighters? He loses, and he loses in spectacular fashion, and he makes that other person look really good. Edson Barboza by unanimous decision, or which I'm leaning a little bit more towards, a TKO. Don't know if you heard that, but that was some thunderous thunder. that was very loud. I give it to Barboza by and again I'm leaning more towards TKO in the either late first or mid second to early second round. So I have Barboza, Battle, Kareem Silva, and this blob. Cool. Now we are going on to our prelims. Even though this fight did get canceled today, and I'm still gonna just shoot out who I thought was gonna win. I think Ferreira was going to KO Mr. Bobby Green or Queen Green or King Green or whatever you want to call him. But yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen, and that's that. They'll probably rebook that fight or something. On to the first fight of these prelims. We have Chase Hooper versus Alexander Hernandez. And if you listened, which I know you suck at, no, I'm joking with you. But if you listen to what I was talking about with Bryan Battle and Ruzaboyev, I think this is what's going to happen in this fight. Chase Hooper is known for getting absolutely ragdolled by his opponents and somehow finding a way to get on top or in a dominant position in mount and either finding a submission or just wrestling his way to a unanimous decision. And I think that's what's going to happen because Alex Hernandez is not only inconsistent and tires out really easy, but he's a freaking beefcake. This dude he's like a tank. He looks like a little tank. When he's not cutting weight, the dude's like, he's a really stocky dude. But he's going to cut weight, and I think that he's going to probably take Chase Hooper down, and Chase Hooper is going to find a way with his brilliant jiu-jitsu, and his good wrestling. And he's just gonna end up on top, and he's gonna beat Hernandez by unanimous decision. Now, onto this absolute barn burner of a fight right here: Lupe Godinez versus Jessica Andrade. I was joking, by the way. This fight sucks. Simple as that. I give it to Lupe Godinez. If Lupe Godinez knows how to competently take somebody down and lay on them, I think Lupe Godinez is going to find a submission on Jessica Andrade, because what Jessica Andrade does is she will throw punches at you like a caveman. You take her down, she will lay on her back like a turtle flipped over and not move. Or she'll lay on her back and she'll give you her back. She'll be laying down in full mount, and then she'll let you take her back, and that's why she's always getting submitted. So I give it to Lupe Godinez by submission in late first or early second round. On to this fight right here. This is an easy fight for GM3, also known as Jared Mearshart versus Michel Oleksiejczuk. Oleksiejczuk is a bum. He lost to Kevin Holland. He lost to Michel Pereira. You're nothing special. GM3, GM3 and 5. No, I'm joking. But I got Jared Mearshart winning this fight. I see him submitting Oleksiejczuk in like the second round, sometime in the second round. Actually, I'll give you a time frame between 3 minutes 30 seconds and a minute 30. Between that time frame, Jared Mearshart is going to get a submission on Michel Oleksiejczuk in the second round. On to our main event here of the prelims. You have this man here. Now, I have no idea how to say his name. I'm going to probably butcher it, and I'm not even going to say it. And he's fighting Eric Nolan. And what does Eric Nolan like to do? Keep his chin up. And who does this dude train with? Khamzat Chimaev, the man that is in the main event of this card. I give it to this dude probably by TKO in the second round. If he fights similar to Khamzat, this fight is over very quickly. Thank you very much. So I got Khamzat's teammate, Jared Mearshart, also known as GM3, Lupe Godinez, Chase Hooper, and even though this fight was canceled, I did give it to Diego Ferreira. On to this main event. Now, what am I going to do with this main event? I'm going to show you guys the best looking version. I'm going to go right on UFC's page. And here we are. First fight, we have Mr. This dude looks homeless. I can't stress that enough. Look at Tim Elliott, man. This dude who came out of the womb ranked number 11 or ranked number 10. And in this flyweight division, man, this dude has been the same rank since Demetrius Johnson became champion. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, he's nothing special. He's nothing special. That's why I give it to Mr. Kyle Sakura by freaking TKO. I give him TKO in the late third round because Tim Elliott has a little bit of a chin. Like, he's still got a little bit of a chin. But, dude, you're getting rocked by Tajir Ulanbekov and, like, getting stunned. Like, come on. Kyle Sakura has way more power than he does, and I think Kyle Sakura is going to beat Tim Elliott. But you know what I can see? I'm going to sit up for this. You know what I can see, which is absolutely stupid? I can see Tim Elliott finding and weaseling his way to a unanimous decision to win over Kyle Sakura by just laying on him and controlling him like Pantoja did. Not as dominant as Pantoja did, but I could just see Kyle Sakura. I don't know why. I could just see Kyle Sakura losing this fight somehow and like finding a way to just like become irrelevant. But yeah, I still give it to Kyle Sakura though, by TKO or KO in the second round. Excuse me. Ugh. Anyways, on to this fight right here. Now, this is an interesting fight. I like this fight. This is a fun fight right here. This is a fun fight. This is also a fun fight, but we'll talk about this because I'm gonna get in depth in this fight. We have MVP Michael Venom Page versus Jared the Killer Gorilla Cannonier. Now, pick this up. Sorry, I apologize. Stay hydrated. Anyways, we got Killer Gorilla versus Venom. This fight, you know, this is a cool fight. It's just two unks fighting. You know what I mean? Like Jared Cannonier is the type of guy, like he's literally that cool uncle that you just love to be around. He'd be the one that's quiet, but like he's just like a fun uncle to be around. And then Michael Venom Page is like your one cousin, like whose mom just isn't watching him, so he starts getting wild. But you know, in all seriousness, I give it to Michael Venom Page because I think Venom Page and his karate stance is going to give Jared Cannonier a run for his money. I think that, you know, even though Michael Venom Page is going to probably troll in this fight, I think that Page is going to keep his distance and he's just going to go to unanimous decision. You know, he's going to play around at range and he's going to, you know, just do what Michael Venom Page does in all of his fights and just have fun. But yeah, man, I give it to Michael Venom Page by unanimous decision. And now we're on to this fight. This fight is nice. I like this fight. I like this fight. I like this fight. I like this fight. Why do I like this fight? Not only because it's going to be a stand-up fight. I mean, listen, there probably are going to be a couple scrambles, and somebody's probably going to end up on top, like in top mount to end a round or something like that, or you know, somebody might almost get finished, and then the next round, like something happens. But this fight, stylistically, this is a fight that Protest can win. And I give it to Protest by unanimous decision. I don't think he's going to finish Jeff Neal. But why do I say that? We got four things. We got two good, two bad. Two good things about both of these fighters that they have in common. They have pretty good striking. They're really fun to watch, right? And the two bad, the two bad. the too bad. Listen, when both of these fighters get really comfortable, they start to drop their hands, right? And that chin goes up. That chin goes up, and the hands come down. Right? Both of these dudes have a good amount of power. They got knockout power. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. Protest can put somebody out. Neal can put somebody out because we've both seen it. But why do I give this to Protest specifically? I give this to Protest because, and we're gonna interlink somebody that both of these dudes have fought. Ian Gary wrestled his way to beat Carlos Protest. It was a good win, good fight, good, cool, great. Jeff Neal is not going to threaten Protest on the floor like Ian Gary is, right? Okay, cool. We set that in stone. What did Ian Gary do a lot versus Jeff Neal? Feints. What is Protest good at? Feints. What did Ian Gary have success in the second and third round when he started to understand that he could open Jeff Neal up? And that chin goes up, hands go down. When Ian Gary was faking the body kicks, head kicks, inside, outside kicks, he was having success. The inside, outside kicks were landing for Ian Gary. The body kicks were landing for Gary. It made him drop his hands. So what did Gary do? He threw question mark kicks on that right side. Jeff Neal has a pretty bad time judging after he drops his hands, he has a hard time judging and timing where the kicks are going to come because Ian Gary feinted to the body and would hit Jeff Neal with a question mark kick, or he would throw a head kick that, even though it was blocked, it made serious contact. You would hear it too. He would throw the head kick and that's all you would hear. It made contact with Jeff Neal's head. Protest is a bigger, faster, more efficient, and stronger guy than Ian Gary is. And I think that Protest is going to have success in this fight. And I think that he's going to be, he's going to be very successful in this fight, Protest is. But Protest is going to go to unanimous decision. And he's going to look very, very, very good in this fight. He's going to look really good in this fight. And I'm happy to say that I have Carlos Protest winning this fight by unanimous decision. On to this co-main event. We have Mr. Aaron Pico versus the undefeated Leon Edwards 2.0, Mr. Lerone Murphy. Now listen, all due respect, Lerone Murphy, I'm very high on Lerone Murphy. I like Lerone Murphy. But man, oh man, you are pretty freaking unbelievably boring at times. The last time Lerone Murphy got a finish was 2021. Mind you, it was 4 years ago. 4 years ago. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, he's going to finish Aaron Pico. But I think that Lerone Murphy is going to weasel his way, and he's going to find a way to beat Aaron Pico and find his way around Aaron Pico's wrestling. And I think he's going to find a way to get around Pico's striking. And honestly, this fight could go either way. That's why I'm kind of on the fence about this fight, but I lean a little bit more towards Lerone Murphy because of one thing. And Tariq, if you're watching, you know what I'm about to say. Aaron Pico is a freaking Bellator guy. What happens when I bet and when I talk about these Bellator guys coming to the UFC and fighting? They look like tin cans. Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull. Tin can. Boring fight. Mario Baptista versus Patchy Mix. Boring fight. They looked like two duds who have only come off the regional scene fighting tin cans because that's what it is. You fight people in the PFL. You fight people in Bellator. You fight people in one championship. You come to the UFC. You fight that caliber of fighter and you lose. This isn't Dan Ige. This isn't 50K, 50G Dan Ige. This isn't somebody you could just wrestle and throw around and you know, even though you're gonna strike and it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna end up being a boring fight. No, Lerone Murphy is gonna weasel his way and find a way to beat Aaron Pico. That's what I say for now, because honestly, Pico got some shutout power. He's another one. He's got some mech for hands. You know, he's got a lot of power in his hands, and he could touch Lerone Murphy's chin because Lerone Murphy, in every single fight that he's fought, has been rocked or has been stunned. And the thing with Pico, it's not about being rocked or stunned. He hits you, done. You're done. You know what I mean? And like that's top tier glazing. But if you look at Pico's fights, dude, he's hitting people with one little hook, and these dudes are in like a stale. Dude, they just go stale. Like a deer in headlight. He hits them and they don't move. You never know. You never know. I want Aaron Pico to prove me wrong. But for me to be safe, I'm picking Lerone Murphy by unanimous decision. And then he's going to get on the mic and he's going to freaking chat for 15 minutes straight. And what? I almost dropped them. I almost dropped the mouse. And then what? And then what? Nothing. Cool. This man right here. Maybe let me go back to get back to this real quick. Boers. They're preying on your downfall, Hamza. They are. They're preying on your downfall, man. And it sucks to say. I have Hamza winning. I don't care. Fight me. Dracus du Plessis is a good fighter. I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I'm not gonna glaze Hamza. I'm not gonna none of that. Cut, dry, in your face. Dracus du Plessis is a really good fighter, and he's got Toon Force. I don't know. Maybe he might win this fight. You know, but as far as the people saying that Hamza has no cardio, he sucks on the feet. Yeah, and as ridiculous as that sounds, I've heard people online, I've heard people tell me that Hamza has horrible striking. This is the same man who dropped Gilbert Burns. And Gilbert Burns, I'll give Gilbert his flowers. Gilbert is he's a good fighter. But this is the same man that's dropping Gilbert and going to wars with him. This is the same man that made Robert Whittaker look like an amateur. This is the same guy who starts Jerome Mershart, because who does that to Jerome Mershart? And, this is the same dude that was stunning and, I don't want to say rocking, but like, he had Usman on skates with his striking. He was taking Usman down. Like who takes Usman down? No one's out here taking Usman down. You know what I mean? So I give this fight to Hamzat Chimaev, and I give it to him by unanimous decision. I think that when 3, 4, 5 comes, I think as long as Hamza fights a smart and efficient fight, and he reserves his energy for the third, fourth, and fifth, when Dracus is gonna start slowing down, I think Hamza wins this fight. Honestly, I could see it going 2, 3, 4, 5 for Hamza, or maybe 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 5 for Dracus, or something like that. I don't know. The possibilities are endless. But I think Hamza Chimaev is gonna get this done by unanimous decision. We're gonna have a new champion, and I'm gonna be happy to come back and make a video on my reaction saying we have a new middleweight champion, and his name is Hamzat Chimaev. With that, this video is coming to an end. I thank you guys so much for everything you do for me, for watching the videos. If you made it this far, I'm going to be doing a live soon, talking about everything that's gone on since I've been gone, that I haven't talked about, or anything of that sort. And you guys are more than welcome to come on the show. I wouldn't mind. You want to talk MMA? Let's talk MMA. But the last time you guys seen me was before Topuria and Oliveira fought, and that was that was literally like 2 months ago, almost. No, it was 2 months ago. So yeah, I'm gonna make a video just kind of talking and kind of just ranting about the UFC and just talking, talking about what happened. But with that, I'm gonna end the video. I thank you guys so much for everything you do, everything you are, and everything that you have been for this channel. Please, I ask that you continue to like, comment, subscribe. Be you. You know what I mean? Just continue doing what you're doing. I thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys very soon. For now, I'm out. Peace.